make sure I have my sound on. Great, excellent. All right, so first things first. Let's take a look-see first at yesterday's Asia, just so we can, you know, remember. You know what would be really nice if I could share my screen. What's up? I said that would be really nice, wouldn't it? If I share my screen. There we go. Do we need to go over Asia, actually? Yeah, why not? So I'll tell you what I saw. Oh, man. Oh, before we do that, let's talk about these order blocks. I still want to refine the logic of my order blocks, but I need to have some conversations first. It's doing one or two things. What it's supposed. Okay, here's the ideal situation, right? Let's say that this is an order block. It's not. It might. Yes, it is actually. Let's say this is an order block. If this an order block is technically supposed to sweep, we'll get there. Anyway, so an order block is not just this candle, but it's the series of candles of opposite color leading into a move of displacement where you have a fair value gap and I think he said a change in the state of delivery. Okay? You got that? Yeah. Okay. So if this were your order block would be from here, the open, to here, the close. So this area here would be the order block. Does that make sense? These two candles from open to here. What I was doing is I was having my order blocks get invalidated here instead of the mean threshold or the bottom. Right? And that's what I shouldn't have been doing. Which actually might even be the wick. Honestly, I'm not sure. I have to look into that. But the point is, when you have a retap, it's so because on many of the videos he showed, it would just come tap the top and then run away, and I'd say, oh, okay, great, that's the order block. But the reality is, I've been seeing if you leave it on, wait for confirmation. I'll see if I can find an example. And then it reaches the mean threshold. Sometimes it wicks past, and then it shoots up, and you can squeeze like 50 points out of that. I started seeing that yesterday evening, so I said that's what he said about deep retracements into the order block. I said, all right, I'm going to leave these on, especially when you have them clustered like that and the higher time frame. The thing is, and I'll show you. The thing is with these order blocks is they get really ugly when you have them superimposed and when you don't have them when you have them as area instead of line. So what I do is if I'm going to trade them, I'll switch from line to area, and then see how price treats the area, mean threshold, and all that. And once I see it's popping out, hasn't been touched too many times, all that, then I'll get in for the move if I'm trying to scalp that. You know what I mean? So right now mine says line. I have closed past the full area to invalidate. I have what's that? Closed past the full area. If you want to treat it like that. Well, invalidated because I have also a setting for inversion turns them into breaker blocks, but I turned that off. I'm not going to use that. See, convert invalidated order blocks to breaker blocks. I don't want that. I turned that off. Some people use that. I don't think that's the proper definition of a breaker block, and I'm not trading that because I want to focus on what I'm focusing on first before I start adding other things. I have I think I made my size larger. It defaults to small or something like that, or tiny. Um, I'm not filtering them, but that's something I could start doing once I get a better understanding. Because I literally built this code yesterday evening, so I mean, and there's still stuff to fix and stuff like that. So, show suppressed. Let's see what else. Show strength in the OB line, not in the text. So I didn't want it. You know how you have the order block will be somewhere next to the candle. I figured that was too difficult to see, so I made sure I put it in the line. It gives it a rating from 0, obviously not 0, but 0 to 100, based on these attributes that you can decide how to grade them yourself if you excuse me, if you want. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Obviously, the higher the score, the more effective you expect the order block to be. I saw some 80s in there. You could take those for some points if you want to scalp them. I don't even know how long they'd run, but maybe take them for who knows. If you have a sweep on top of the order block, I don't even know. There's stuff there. All right. Let's go back. Well, you saw Tim's video, so I don't know if you want to go back over Asia. Actually, you know what? Real quick. Yeah, just real quick. Uh-huh. All right, let's do a replay. Shoot, I didn't do that. I was so busy today. I wanted to send Perplexity something. I'll do it later. I hope I have the picture still. Yesterday was 6/9. 6 o'clock. Okay. When I show you how easy this morning was, you're going to be upset. But, okay. Oh my gosh. You'll see. You will see. Um, you will see. Now keep in mind I'm on NQ. I could go to MNQ. You could follow along on MNQ and let me know if you see anything that's drastically different. Okay? But I'm trying to train my eyes for NQ because you'll see. So, all right, 6 o'clock. 6? Yeah, 6 o'clock we opened. Let me make this one speed. Okay, first thing we did, we gapped down. I said, all right, because I'm trying to trade this in two different ways and I need to pick a way. So the first thing I said was, we have these. I honestly, I don't even know how much I trust these bearish order blocks realistically, because I'm trusting the gap more, and these are just a function of the displacement due to the gap as opposed to displacement due to, you know what I mean? Because you treat fair value gaps, you treat imbalances as part of your fair value gap, so that's why it's considering this. So, and I don't know how to code around that, so whatever. But the point there is, it's clearly a strong area, and I should have definitely seen that. Look at this, 97.8. My word. Okay, well, you get the point though. Which also means that if this is the case, you can expect it's not necessarily going to reject the gap top. It may retrace deeper into it before it actually goes in that direction for real. But that's another story entirely. Let's play this. So I had my here said I was watching to see. We opened, came down, kept coming down. I was trying to see if this was a sweep. Came back up. It was still a strong area. Gap. See what the next candle does. Boom. It wicks. Okay, so that tells me something, but not a lot. It does tell me that the sweep may be complete, and we may be interested in going that direction. I would be interested in maybe a scalp to this direction, but it could also be the opposite. So I have two things going on in my head. Is this a wick rejection in the sense of it can't go there, and that's why it came all the way back there? Or is it looking for a reason to come back down to sweep more to go back up? Right? That's what I'm thinking here, okay? Next candle. What am I thinking? All right. So next thing I do here is I had my fib on this candle. We're clearly testing this direction. We rejected all of it. So we have another one in this direction. So I'm looking to see what the next candle is. If it's moving in this direction, I'm going to go in for a scalp maybe to here. Okay? Otherwise, I want to make sure it doesn't sweep again. It doesn't look like it's trying to, right? You're not making a lower low. So I would chance something that looks green. Boom. And I would be out here, honestly, to the gap. Rejection like that, I'm out. I wouldn't even wait for this candle, honestly, because that to me, this is a scalp. I don't have the experience to say anything better than I want to not take the profit from here. You know what I mean? I don't have reason. You know, we're already creating an intermediate term low here. I don't have enough information. If I were gambling, sure, maybe I'll say let's see what happens. But this is a strong area. It turned. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fib it. You know, let's see. Actually, what happens if we fib it? I'm talking about basically purely on candle structure. You know what I mean? And this does look like an OTE, right? OTE plus FVG, so to speak. But you know, it's really just a gap. Yeah. Honestly, I would be looking for gap rejection trades to see if I can get something down here, and I don't. So in this case, it actually does reach consequent encroachment of the gap. I would have been out though. You know what I mean? I don't have the strength to take this. I mean, maybe it's not. It's clear. It's definitely trending, but I don't know. I have no. What's that? It's small trending, but it is trending. You know, the lows are significant. Are well, not significantly, but are generally getting higher. You know, the problem I have is I don't have anything to. First of all, I don't have a first presented. I don't have anything. I don't really have anything in this area to suggest that this is going in my direction more than it. Like it rejected here. How do I know that this rejection isn't the big? No, this is no. This is just the gap. This is just the gap. There's no. This is 459, and this is just the gap. This should not be a first presented. It better not be a first presented. I'll be mad if it is. It is a first presented. Ugh, don't tell me that it broke. Ugh. It does say Sydney, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, why is this broken? I'll have to fucking fix this. I'm mad. Actually, you know what? No, it'll fix itself once it creates a fair value gap. I think. I hope. I pray. That looks like a fair value gap to me, and it's not fixed. Well, this is for yesterday. Hopefully, we don't have the same problem today. I'll have to try to fix it once I see a trade, because, I mean, honestly, I don't know what the hell this is and why it's broken still. It's at 6 o'clock. Yeah, I know. I'm not happy about that. This might be an old version of the code, which is also pissing me off. No, it's not that. That's not the problem. First, opening range cap show. That is a problem because it's it is an old version of the code. That's why I wasn't seeing. Oh gosh. I'm mad. No, hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That defeats the purpose of the indicator. I need that stuff, and I'll show you why later. Anyway, so the point here is this also lined up right here, and to be fair to Tim, this was actually great because this lined up with the 50%. So you could have taken this. This was the 50% of the dealing range of the PM session. So You could have literally taken this to here. So that's why you don't get in off the rejection here. I left some points on the table. So yes, that is something I could have done. I got chopped up here. This here, this, no, this isn't. This is just from here to there because it's an intermediate to there. But this lined up with the 50% on the PM session dealing range. Okay? Which was, you know how big that was from yesterday. Right. So all of that from there to there, and it rejected the 50% here, boom, down. You could take in, there's a nice little sweep you could take in here. And like I said, you didn't have to take it to just there. I left some points on the table. Gosh, there's 20 points left on the table. Boom. All right. And then what happens? It comes back up somewhere around, I think it's either 650 or 750 to the same area. Yeah. I guess it's a 7. No, yeah, I guess it's this. No, maybe it's a 750 macro. I mean, literally, this could have just been taken to the gap. You know what I mean? That's literally how you could just trade this to the gap and away from it. But 750 macro, you're supposed to come up here and you sweep this area. Boom, sweep. Yep. And then you fall. I think you fell. I don't remember, to be honest. Yeah, you're definitely falling. I mean, I like to believe. There we go. There we go. Uh, Honestly, I don't remember. I have to reacquaint myself with protected eyes. But yeah, that was the trade here. Wait for that, the sweep, and the 50% of the dealing range, the PM session dealing range, and that was your major trade there. And that's what print through the gap, all that. You know what I mean? So mad at this. I'll fix it. I just can't believe that my again. They added another prop to wealth charts. Yeah, they have a seventh one, mid guard trading. The more the merrier, right? Because that brings us to. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 outside of Tradeify, which means you could still trade like 11 third stage live. All right. Anyway, let's do. So you get this then, right? Yes. Hello. I hear you. Okay. So and then we get to this morning. This morning was so easy. I just wish. I wish I could just. What's that? It was easy for us. It was easy for us. Why? Because we have a strategy. Okay. Because we have a strategy. The strategy you're using is basically my strategy. You have. All right. Let's think of it this way. What is the market? What is the market? You stare at these charts. What is this? What is this? All this. Where is the market going? What is it doing? Exactly. I think of it like an animal. You ever been hunting or fishing or something like this? Close enough. So when they have to fish, what do? They show up at the river, at the lake, whatever, with stuff that they want exactly to capture the animal. Hey, come here. And then you catch them in your trap, right? Right? Okay. So the market is the animal you want to catch. You want to put it in your trap. Because if you don't, it's a dangerous animal. It'll bite you if you don't bite it, right? Right? I hear you sometimes, maybe? I mean, I hear you the same until I don't. All right. So the market is an animal, you want to catch it. So what is the market looking for? The market is a liquidity hunting machine. Okay? So what is it looking for? It's looking for liquidity. And you know where to find liquidity. You find liquidity. I feel like that's different. Whatever. Anyway, exactly. Fair value gaps, swing highs, that kind of thing. Right? It's hunting those things. And if it can't reach it, it has to do something in order to get there, right? First candle. What do we see? Boom. Came up here. This was kind of hard for me to see on my phone. I was like, I don't even know where this came. It came, let's say, oof, where is this? High is 953.25. So it came up here. 953 point. Gosh darn it, that's close enough. 953. That's close enough. It couldn't even make it to any of those fair value gaps up there, right? Euro, midnight, Tokyo, Sydney, none of that. Couldn't make it. All right, so what did it do? Next candle. It couldn't make it still, and it's starting to come back down. Plus, on top of that, we have our gap, which we know is a rejectionary area if it can't even make it up there. All right? So that was my bias was up, and it can't do it, then you're probably coming down. I was scared about this fair value gap, but I said, not only can we not do it, we making like bodies are closing lower. I was thinking, hesitance, rejecting the gap low, but we can't even. If we can't even, probably going to. Right? You see what I'm saying? If we can't even, we have to. I was honestly concerned that it would just come here and stop because it's literally all of our fair value gaps. But I couldn't watch my phone. You know what I mean? So if we did this properly, we said, you find what works. Here's your high. That's not your high. Let's try that again. There we go. Here's your high. I think I brought it down to here, maybe. No. First, I said that. Boom. Boom. Right? And then if you turn on your extra levels, we say, boom. That looks like a 786 to me, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's kind of all the reason I need for a turnaround. We can't even, and we can't even. We're going down. Right? We have a high up here. We can't even. We actually literally couldn't even sweep the intermediate term highs here. Well, actually, no, we did. We literally slept this one, 93 point, literally right here, 953.25. So basically this was, so if you don't want to say we can't even, you could say we actually swept the highs that were here. These highs were enough for us to go down. This was enough liquidity. We didn't need more. We got what we needed. We're on our way down. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's why I said this was easy. You just have to know. And this came right down to our area. First presented fair value gap. And what do? You say, I didn't have the fib on, to be fair, until after. So that wasn't any good for me. That wasn't any good for me. But I had what I needed in terms of saying, remember I texted you while we were, I think, on this candle, are you in the short? Or maybe this one. I said, are you on the short? Because I was trying to get in it. You see what I'm looking at now, right? Yeah. You could say we can't even. You could say it looks like we don't even need more. We already got what we needed. He's full. The beast is full. Doesn't need more liquidity up here. It's the hunter for it down here, right? Yeah. Okay. Boom. Tap the consequent encroachment of our first presented. Can you get any better than that? Maybe you have like a less than a tick difference? I don't even know. Can you get any better than that? You're done. That's why I said, I don't know. I don't have any, everything else was up. Then we had all this down here. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't want to take this trade. I did not want to because I wasn't sure if it was looking for more liquidity in the gap to come back down. But you also see, because you also see this is in basically OTE right here for a downside move. So I don't know. I didn't want to stay in this. I was like, I don't know about today. I didn't look at anything. I don't have a bias. I don't know what's going on. So I said, let's see what this offers. What's the next candle? Oh, well, see. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, no. It didn't wick in. Wait, where's your this is your fair value gap. This isn't a wick. This is your fair value gap. Yeah. Okay. Because your candle ends where? Low. 870.25. 870.25. All the way up here. This is where the candle ends. Here. This is your fair value gap. There's no wick in. All right? So I'm watching this. I'm saying, all right, well, maybe, first of all, I'm already rich, right? I already took my move. Took the Judas swing, as far as I'm concerned. Then I'm watching this. Okay, it's turning around. What does that mean? I've got myself. Hold on. Let's flip this fib actually, because I want to show you something. I know I'm running out of time, but I'll try to be as whatever. It is what it is. Flip your fib, and then you add your levels. What's this? 618. Right on your wick in. Come on. You already came up here at least. You're rejecting gap low, right? You're rejecting gap low. You have a first presented in the gap. You're at the 618 rejection. I would have chanced that. Well, I know, but I'm saying this is how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't look at it in hindsight, how will you look at it when it's time for it to happen? And I'm showing you what to do. You see how I'm putting my fib on? You see how I'm using the levels? You see how I'm seeing where it respects the levels? Right? You could say everything is hindsight. And honestly, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create an indicator to fib for me. So you don't have to have hindsight. You have now sight. Honestly, I wouldn't know where to get out here. I'd probably take it to here and run away. I don't even know what I would have done. I probably would have been out on this candle. Maybe. I don't know. Well, not far. So yeah. You know what I mean? But the point there is these were a vacuum, right? I mean, it's like that most days, isn't it? I honestly thought that this was the end of the day and we were just gonna have a gap rejection day. I didn't want to see that happen because it messes with the statistics, but this move was enough for me to walk away if I wanted to. Then I saw this and I said, because I didn't know what to do here. If this just kept running through, I would have been screwed. This alone reason. Even if I got out, like I said, if I got stuck here, 026, got in late here, 891, that's still a great move, right? That's 100, almost 40 points. And you can draw the fib while this is coming down. You have 2 minutes to click to draw this fib, which I moved from wherever I had it before. So it's not like I didn't already have a fib. Where did I have the fib? Back there somewhere. So it was there, boom, boom. I like to have more than one fib at a time. I like to have maybe three because when you have large moves, you can see where they retrace to see if it's going to continue or if it's just toying with you. You know what I mean? What do you think? Well, how? Right. Mhm. Yeah. I'm actually surprised that this didn't come back up here to sweep Asia High. I'm actually very surprised about that. Oh, there it goes. Okay, that's why. And then it fell. What's that? So I didn't even see any higher time frame, anything. I didn't have the luxury of, what are we doing, any of that. I just said, I need to make a snap decision. Pop and drop, I said, right? I said, honestly, I was hoping to see it come up here. But I realized, based on the way it's shaped, it kind of doesn't, I'm not sure. I didn't even see it fill in the gap. The gap was still the gap was what? Almost 260 points, almost 300 points. Still quite big, right? Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe a little less. 200, something like that. Whatever. Anyway, okay. Well, let's drop it now. Are you trading Asia, or are you good with this? Do you understand what I saw at least? And this was lucky because honestly, this could have stopped. What's up? Well, I mean, how long does it take to draw a fib? You have this boom, boom. Well, well, well. No, 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 no. See, I want you to stop that there because, with all due respect, you're making excuses. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're making excuses. For two reasons, you're making excuses. One, you could already have a fib on the chart. Two, while it's coming down, you can move your fib to where you need it. You don't have to start with a new fib and then try to figure it out. You said this takes, if by here, you're 2 minutes into this. Okay, here you're 2 minutes in technically. You already saw this was the top. If the top changes and it comes up here now, then you can move it up there if you want to. But once you see that this is red and it's moving in a direction, you don't have to wait for the minute to finish. You don't have to wait for the candle to close. You could start putting it on, move it. You could either if it goes back up, then you put it up there. You know what I mean? Like you're making excuses. Okay, gladly, because that's what I do. I do it now.